I see a lot of videos for women on YouTube on how to get a so-called hourglass body, wider hips and bigger breasts essentially. They will tell you to work out, do plastic surgery, go on unnatural diets, and so on. All of this is bullshit. There's one solution to all of your problems.
Okay.
Pregnancy.
What?
The
What? Excuse me? Pregnancy. You know, I'm just going to say it. I don't think being pregnant gives you an hourglass physique. You know, I think the enlarged stomach kind of gets in the way of that. You know, to be completely honest.
reason you look the way you look is because you did not get pregnant right after you started menstruating.
Okay, it gets worse. It gets worse. Holy shit, it got worse. What the fuck does that mean? What the hell does that mean? Right after menstruating? Dude, don't like girls go like don't girls start their period as like as early as like 9? Are you saying girls should get pregnant at 9 years old just so they look good? Dude, what the fuck are you talking about?
Is because you did not get pregnant right after you started menstruating.
Okay. All right. Okay. This video has 2,000 likes, by the way.
Your menstruation is literally your body, nature, God, if you're religious, telling you to have children now. Not doing that is exactly the same as not eating meat and fat when you are hungry.
Not eating meat and fat. All right, he just have to throw it in. Keto is good. Vegetables are very bad. Vegetables are horrible. If you eat anything remotely green, you are a woman and should have gotten pregnant at 9 years old. Oh my god.
It completely goes against your body's needs and senses, and you will be naturally punished for it. And in this case, you are punished with your looks. Every woman on earth that did not get pregnant when she was supposed to now looks different than she should, which
You know, okay, I'm just gonna say it. I don't think women look different if they, you know, radically different now than they have throughout history. I'm just gonna say it because I'm pretty sure you find like the most average woman, as in like average across, just literally get all the women in one spot in the world, just like claw machine one up and something, drop her there. She's probably gonna look like, you know, proportion wise, pretty close to like a cave woman or something, right? Like we have, as a species, we have not been like like our physique has not changed much throughout history. People are always like, "Oh, what about all these big sculptures and all of that?" They're like, "Well, they're sculptures. They try to paint you in the best light possible." You know, there's no photographs, and whenever you do find photographs of like people like from hundreds of years ago or like 200 years ago, they look almost identical to us, you know, proportion wise. So I don't think like getting pregnant at 9 is gonna make you look like how you're supposed to look. What the fuck?
means that most women in Europe and North America don't look the way they are supposed to. Do you understand how big of a deal this is?
It's not a big deal. You know what? I'm just gonna say it. I don't I am pro children not getting pregnant. That's me. That's just me. If the you know, if this man's right, you know, and all of that about how that's not how your body's supposed to look, you know, if you're supposed to have like 36-inch wide hips and double G breasts if you got pregnant at the age of 9, but now you just have, you know, C cups and like uh 36 circumference inch waist rather than wide. I think you're fine. I think that's perfectly okay. I think that's a good trade-off, you know? That's just me. I don't think putting your body through the damage of being pregnant at like 12 is going to be worth just looking like how you're supposed to.
Almost every woman that walks past you in everyday life doesn't look the way she is naturally supposed to. The looks are one thing, but there's a much bigger problem that most women have no clue about. Your body stops growing at around the age of 18. Growth is not only your height, your body goes through a lot of changes, and one of them is that it tightens and stays that way for life. This
It tightens and stays that way for life. Isn't like the whole thing about getting old like you're just getting looser? Like you just get looser. You know, you wrinkle, you start to sag. You're getting looser. What does he mean by tightening?
this is a huge problem for women in the West today. You've probably been told all of your life that childbirth is very painful, right?
Yes, it is, and it always has been. Are you going to say that if you do it younger, it's not going to be?
It actually isn't, but it is for most women in the West, and that's because they give birth almost 15 years too late. You have to understand that from nature's perspective, you are seen as a loser, and that's why you will be punished with pain. This
From nature's perspective, you're seen as a loser for not getting pregnant as a child. Okay. All right, this man is over here talking about how women need to have, to get pregnant at a young age just so they have the hourglass figure, right? I'm just going to say it. I'm not one to make fun of, people's body proportions, but like he doesn't look like the peak male man. I'm just going to say it. His shoulders are not wide. He's not rippling with muscles right now. He looks like a plank. He looks fairly straight down. He looks like a 2x4. He's not a strong looking man. He doesn't look like a man who's going to, fight a lion with only his fingernails. I guess that's just nature punishing him because he didn't get a 14-year-old pregnant. I guess that's going to be his justification for that. Who knows?
This is why you have to give birth when you are young and flexible. Your hips will widen very easily when giving birth. And you won't have to go through those painful contractions that women who give birth at an unnatural age go through. Your hips will stay that way and make all of your future births just as easy, whereas those women can even risk bleeding to death when they give birth.
You're saying that, okay, holy shit. You're saying that if you give birth young, your pelvic bone just opens and stays open forever? That's no. No, no. This isn't oh my god. He's treating like pelvic bones and giving birth like skull elongated, The only reason why skulls were able to like be morphed into shaped in those weird things. I mean, you've all seen like, skull elongate, those weird alien looking skulls from like past civilizations. The only reason why those look like that is because the bones, your skull is not set. So they force it to be set in a way different. The only way to have like your pelvic bone permanently open is to set it open. Meaning they would have to just break it and then make it heal in a way to where it's just in that same position. It's like breaking an arm, Kids, squishy bones, fair. Kids do have like weaker bones. But you can't just like squeeze it and then all of a sudden it's just going to be like squoze right there, It's not like that. That's not how bones work. The head is different because at that moment in time, it's several different bones which are slowly fusing together.
Again, this is a natural punishment
It is
for
not.
going against nature. You won't have stretch marks, your breasts will be much bigger.
You absolutely will have stretch marks. No matter how young. Okay, so I was in middle school and this one girl got pregnant in 7th grade. She was like, I think she was a little bit older, maybe. She was like 13 or something. She was older than me, I know that. But she got pregnant in 7th grade and she had stretch marks. because she was like a 4'9" little girl who's all of a sudden carrying a baby-sized lump inside of her. She still has stretch marks. I guarantee you, if I run into her on the street, if I go home and she has a tank top on, she will still have those stretch marks. They're probably going to be worse on her because she is a child. I mean, shoot, if you grow up too fast, like if you get too tall too fast growing up, you have stretch marks on your back and your legs and all of that. Like my roommate, he's got stretch marks from, growing up too fast. He shot up like 6 inches in eighth grade or whatever, and he's got stretch marks. So what do you think pregnancy's gonna do to you?
Because you will be pregnant while you are going through puberty, which is how it's supposed to be. It will give you an extra boost, so to speak. This is how you actually naturally get an attractive body as a woman. Of course,
Okay, you know what? And it just occurred to me, the whole thing of like what we see as like attractive, body types and the peak male and female body types is all so we can attract a mate. Right? That's how evolution works. You see someone like with what you consider attractive characteristics because that's what you consider healthy, evolution wise. How does that work if you already had sex with them, right? Like if the whole thing is so if the whole thing of like what you find like peak attractive body, if the whole thing to have a peak attractive body is so that you can have a child, then why are you having a child to have a peak attractive body? It doesn't work the other way around. You flip the sequence reversed. You know, you're putting step two before step one.
you have to still eat natural food to be well developed and have an easy birth. You can't eat cookies and pasta and expect to have an easy childbirth, no matter how young you are. Genes obviously also play a role, and some women simply do have different body types. The media teaches women
Okay, so women just have different body types. Okay, so he admits that. He knows that's a thing. All right, at least he knows that.
to be promiscuous. The schools teach them to use protection.
You
Teaches women to be promiscuous. Some women simply do have different body types. The media teaches women to be promiscuous.
You're teaching people to be promiscuous. You're saying to get pregnant at 9. What the fuck? How do you think that's going to work? You're going to have to be promiscuous for that to happen. And it's just disgusting.
The schools teach them to use protection, and the families usually don't even get involved today. They don't have a strong father figure to lead them or to teach them anything.
Go, I'm just going to say it. If you have a strong father figure in your life, good for you. If your strong father figure is, pressuring you at the age of 9 to get pregnant, you have every right in the book to hit him with a bag of bricks. Stop his breathing. That is your God-given right. If your strong figure, male figure, father figure is telling you you got to get pregnant the minute you start your period, kill him. I don't care. I don't care if that's inciting violence. I'm fine with it. You know what? I'm cool with that. I don't care if that's attributed to me for the rest of my life. Good. In fact, good.
Back in the day, we did not document our birth dates as we do now. Most people didn't know how old they are because naturally it's irrelevant.
Depends on your society, I guess. A lot of European ones, or the Nords, the peak society to a lot of these people, didn't, for whatever reason. But most societies in the world did, and whatever calendar they used. I mean, hell, the Mayan society, your name was the day you were born, which I can only imagine how fucked up that got. But yeah, no, birth dates were something that people kept in touch with a lot, like heavy.
On the day a girl got her first period, is usually when she lost her virginity and got impregnated. Nobody cared about her exact age because it didn't matter up until today.
And you know what? We also watch people murder each other in coliseums. I think we've progressed that. That's bad. That's a bad part in history. That is something that is just gross. I'm just going to say it. That is bad part of history. Child marriages, incest, all bad parts of history that I don't think we need to repeat just because they were what we've done throughout you know, most of the civilization. You know, I hate the arguments of like we did it throughout history, therefore that's what we should always do. You know what we did more than this? Like lived out in fields, died of diarrhea, and chased a deer with a sharpened stick. If you really want to return to monkey, we'll go return to monkey.
I'll give you some examples. In Spain, 20 years ago, the age of consent was 12. It was changed to 16 some years ago. In Italy and
Good. Bump those numbers up higher, actually. Put that at 18. Put that at 21. Put it at 30. This video makes me want to say you're not allowed to have sex until you're 40 just so creeps like him don't get near you.
in Germany, it was also 12 for ages. In Italy, it is 14 now. Not that much has changed there. In Canada, up until 2008, it was also 14. Artificial marriages with a contract usually happen between the ages of 9 and 12 all around the earth. A bit over 100 years ago, the age of consent in the United States was 7 to 12 years, depending on the state.
God, and that's disgusting. That's horrible. 100 years ago, segregation was still a thing. Yeah, are you going to go for that? I mean, he probably would. But, just because it was a thing in history doesn't mean it was right. There's a lot of things from history that were wrong. That's why we're supposed to learn about it. That way we're like, okay, that's gross. Let's never do that again. Why do you want to go back to have sex with 7-year-olds? Why? Why do you want that?
In 1920, after World War I, it was changed to 16 to 18 all of a
Good.
sudden. That's also when women started working and sending their children to kindergarten. All of a sudden, the children were in the hands of the government. Everything started going downhill 100 years ago.
100 years ago. All right, 100 years ago. We were in 1922. All right. We just lost a fuck ton of the world population to World War One. People are dying in the streets from Spanish flu. Pollution is everywhere in the air. The average age of death is like 45. I don't think that's an ideal life. I think we're better here in the 21st century. I'm gonna be real with you, my guy. I think we're doing a lot better now. I don't want to just I don't want to go back 100 years ago where I could die of black lung, have to send my 3-year-old to a mine, and then have to deal with the possibility of a 40-year-old man trying to impregnate my 5-year-old daughter. I don't want to deal with that. That sounds horrible. It sounds like the worst life possible. Why do you want to go back to that?
It was like a great reset.
Great reset. It was like a great reset. Changing the age of consent, great reset. Big conspiracy. Holy shit. This man is unhinged. And it's making me unhinged. I'm getting... Alright, I guess we're looking at trees.
Nowadays we have mind control programs such as To Catch a Predator with
Mind control programs like To Catch a Predator. You think that saying pedophilia bad is mind control? This man is an actual... Ooh, I don't want to call him a pedophile, but I'm getting real close to.
Chris Hansen. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. Men get caught for wanting to sleep with 15-year-old girls.
Yes, it's hilarious. It's fucking funny. I love when predators get caught. I love seeing that shit. I hate the police state and all that. I hate people getting thrown in jail and having their life ruined for most crimes. But this is one I will make an exception on because it's disgusting. There is nothing to be gained with having sex with a child. Nothing. The only thing to have, to get from that is pleasure. With robbery, at least you're getting money. With murder, you're getting revenge or, something else. Gang violence, turf, whatever. There's some kind of motive to all of that, to where there is some kind of justification that is not pure, you know, being a sociopath. Right? Someone like robs a store, they're like, oh, I needed to, feed my family. I needed to pay off medical bills, whatever. Someone murders, like, well, they were abusive to me, or I felt my life was in danger with them in my life. You know, with all those cases, there's going to be some, there's like, oh, I just wanted to rob the store for fun. There's that. But at least there is like always going to be that at least one case of someone doing it where it's in at least a moral gray area. Even with murder, I killed my husband because he was going to hit me with a baseball bat. Gray area, right? With having sex with a child, there is no gray area. It's all black. It's all bad. Bottom line, there is no benefit to the victim. It's all just pleasure for the perpetrator. So whenever I see, people get their just desserts, I am happy. I am rejoicing with that. Because all they done was harm.
Yet in Europe, the age of consent is 14 to 15 in most countries. And that's
Okay, that's why this show takes place in America. Fuck you.
simply because even the governments here understand that no matter how old you are as a guy, you would have to be severely mentally ill not to find a 15-year-old girl attractive. Yet in the United
I don't. You know what? I may be severely mentally ill, but I do not find 15-year-olds attractive. I don't. I don't, because those are not women. Those are not adults. Those are children. They act like children. Bottom line, what the fuck you want me to do? That's like people saying you have to be severely mentally ill to not look at that furry on TV and say they're not hot. I'm gonna say it. I don't think, anthropomorphic animals are hot either. Like, I know it's a little weird to conflate the two, but to me, in my mind, that is a dog, right? It acts like, it acts like a human, but it looks like a dog. If the roles were reversed, and if it was like just a person, running around, acting like a dog, to me, in my mind, I'm gonna say, hey, that person's acting like a dog. They're clearly not in a good mental capacity. I'm not talking about like someone role playing or anything. I'm talking about like someone who just is legitimately acting like a dog. Like they just fully 100% believe they are a dog. And they're just like, to me, that person is, has some kind of deficiency. I'm praying for them. They're not all there. Same with a child, right? If you're not fully there mentally, you are off the table. Bottom line, if you are a child, you are off the table to be considered attractive.
States, you are seen as a monster for having a natural attraction, even though
Natural attraction. I'm going to say it. I think most people are on my side with this. I think most people do not find children attractive. He considers it natural, probably because he does think these people are attractive, which is just getting me closer to call this man a pedophile. But I haven't watched enough of this video, and I'm not going to make that accusation yet. But if we get to the end of it and he thinks, and he just comes out and says, I want to fuck a 14-year-old, I'm going to say it. He's a pedophile. But he hasn't said it yet, so I won't. But I'm getting very suspicious vibes.
that's only 1 year away from 16, which is legal in a lot of states. It's a man-made number, and most importantly, in nature, you would never be able to tell if a girl is 15 or 16. Yet people still get prison sentences for sleeping with 15-year-old girls. But it's totally fine if she turns 16 the next day.
It's actually still not fine because there are groomer allegations, Like this legal, like, Oh, it's fine. She's 18 and 1 second years old. You can still get arrested for some shit like that because there's groomer because you can just that's predatory, on your part. Right? If you were like if you knew and all of that and you were like stalking and waiting for the day to come, that can be illegal. Reverse it and say it's like oh, I just didn't know and it just happened to be the day. You're probably fine, right? Because you didn't know, which is I guess this man's point. But like, there's a reason why these systems are made, right? We just didn't come up with these numbers for like no fucking reason. We came up with these numbers and like these laws because they reduce the harm to children who are getting put in situations that were ruining them, right? Ruining them physically and mentally. Because getting pregnant at the age of 9 is going to ruin your body. It's not going to give you like the best feminine body. No, it's going to ruin your body. You're small, you're tiny, your brain is not fully there. And then all of a sudden you're having to care for another life inside of you, which is quite large in some cases. Yeah, it's going to hurt. It's going to be painful. There's going to be all sorts of health complications. What the fuck is this man on about?
Absolutely ridiculous. Women in nature don't work. Yes, they may gather food or do some chores here and there, but that's about it. Men do all of the heavy work, and that's because biochemically we actually enjoy it.
Not in every society. There have been countless of societies with written languages and all of that who women partook with the men in a lot of things. Particularly some in the Amazons, the Amazonian thing. Although for most, what we thought was, just fake story, there seems to actually have been a society that did thrive on some stuff like that. Not to mention, who the fuck knows what was going out throughout the thousands and thousands of years we did not have anything written down.
You as a woman do not want to work.
Not to mention there's, we're like, oh, and then, in Animal Kingdom, the man is the one that hunts, and while the woman takes care of stuff. Not always the case. There are male animal species where the male is the one that takes care, and the women go out on the hunt. This appeal to nature doesn't make fucking sense when there's so many contradictions and exceptions. Like, oh, laws are man-made, therefore it's not natural. Okay, well, drinking. All right, that's if you can't tell the difference between a 14-year-old and a 16-year-old and a 18-year-old and a 21-year-old, so we should let the 12-year-old drink. There's a reason why we don't let 12-year-olds drink. It's because it would fuck up with their head, It's a developing brain. The chemicals from alcohol or smoking or literally any drug use can and will affect them. It could damage them. Same with sex and birth.
And you most certainly do not enjoy working out or doing any kind of sports. Hormonally, it completely do not sure.
Hold on. Now, is he going to say women don't enjoy working out?
Here and there, but that's about it. Men do all of the heavy work, and that's because biochemically we actually enjoy it. You as a woman do not want to work, and you most certainly do not enjoy working out or doing any kind of sports. Hormonally, it completely goes against your biochemistry.
No, it doesn't. Men just happen to have more testosterone. We're not meant to have it. We just got that end of the stick. Women can enjoy the benefits of testosterone too. In fact, having more of it is good. Having more testosterone for us, good. We exercise and all that. For men, good. It keeps us athletic. Same with women. You're talking about, giving birth and all that as a good thing. Guess what? Being pregnant also raises your testosterone levels. Not just your estrogen. It raises both. It raises both simultaneously. They both go up.
The more you work out, the more infertile you get. You would be a million times happier having a peaceful life, taking care of your children and your husband. A large amount of the time you would be pregnant, And that alone would make you want to rest, besides running the risk of a miscarriage if you would lift anything heavy. Women nowadays sleep around and then they later realize that they want to have a family and a husband who is loyal and respects them. Snap out of it. Deep down, every man is going to see you as used up. Don't complain about it. Realize that you fucked up and try to make the best out of it. Let's break
Don't sleep around, but also get pregnant when you're 9 years old. What the fuck are you on, dude?
all of this down and take the US as an example. As a teenager, you sleep around. Already when you've had 2 to 3 partners, the likeliness of you ever being able to pair bond is close to impossible. You are not allowed to naturally marry anybody who is older than you, who may be strong enough to take care of you, but you are allowed to sleep with other teenagers who watch porn and will drop you as soon as they have used you. This is where all of these damaged girls come from.
Girls are not damaged. Okay, what the fuck's this man's logic? Okay. This girl, okay. A girl who has sex with someone her same age, that happens 3 times, but doesn't get pregnant at the age of 9 from a 40-year-old. Okay. No, it doesn't follow. I can't follow it because it doesn't make fucking sense. All right? You're saying that someone would be healthier if they got pregnant at a young age with a far older man than someone who had consensual sex with someone their same age? No. No, that is not the case. That has never been the case and will never be the case, no matter how bad you want it.
You are not even allowed to artificially marry anybody with a contract.
Oh, he's saying exactly what you think he's saying. He's saying that, okay, he opened up the video saying that girls should get pregnant the minute they started menstruating. He's not advocating for child marriage. He's advocating for child pregnancy. Now he's on the marriage. He's, this far in the video, now he's on to marriage. But at the beginning, he was just talking about getting pregnant as a child. It's much worse. It is so much worse. This video has 2,000 likes, by the way. 2,000 likes on YouTube.
Before the age of 18. This is insane and inhumane because they make it impossible for girls to have stable relationships or to create a functioning family.
Okay. Call me insane. Call me lefty, pinko, scum, woke skull, SJW. I don't give a shit what you call me. A 14-year-old with a 40-year-old is not a stable relationship by any means. Not at all. That is a hill I will die on.
You may have so-called relationships that even last a few years, but all of them will break in the end because of this. Essentially, it is illegal to have a family in the United States of America. I'm not kidding. This is what the New World Order is all about.
Oh my god, he brought it to the New World Order. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. It's just getting insane.
China is a good example of it. The age of consent is 18, and to marry anybody, you have to be 20 as a woman and 22 as a man. This is basically 10 years too late and guarantees a 99% family failure rate.
10 years! 10 years! He wants 12-year-old boys and 10-year-old girls to start having sex. Otherwise, the family will fail. Oh my fucking god. I gotta take this one in for a little bit. 10 years. Holy shit. Oh god.
I assume that the age of consent will be 18 to 20 in the NWO, if there even will be any. Essentially, there won't be such a thing as a family. This is all part of the depopulation agenda. The
depopulation agenda. Oh my god.
Believe that you are being oppressed as a woman, when in reality, the liberation is the oppression.
You know what? True liberation is you getting married at the age of 10 and getting pregnant as soon as possible. That's really what's the liberation. I can't make this shit up. I couldn't. This is cartoon villain evil.
И нет конца
All right, what the fuck is this?
моим слезам текут себе.
Creepy. That's what this is. What the fuck? How do you find these people? They just exist. They exist out in the world. Oh, I wish I knew where he existed. I can't say that. That's a threat. That's an actual threat. It's creepy because it's creepy music with a creepy guy who thought that was good. Oh god. I thought this video was going to be bad. I see the title, A Woman's Purpose. I'm just like, all right, this is going to be quite awful. This is going to be pretty bad. I thought it was going to be like, stay in the kitchen, make me sandwich type shit. Not child pregnancy, marriage stuff. I could. I'm so lost. I don't know what to do right now. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to say because this is just the most blatant, disgusting act of like belief I could think of. Like you can find me a video of someone talking about how murder is actually good. Right? You can find something like that and I would at least think that's way less evil than what this man was talking about. Oh my god. He's got 98, just about 98,000 subscribers, by the way, with 12,000 likes. There's one person who advocated. I would much rather be in the room with someone who would advocate murder being good than this guy.